was just, oh, it was just great all the time, and I just no responsibility and no pain, and you're never in touch, and you don't ever feel this dichotomy. Another place where I see that is in sanity and confusion and chaos. Somebody left a comment on my page and said, you know, chaos, isn't it great? And I mean, I'm comfortable with it and I acknowledge it. I don't revel in it. But you can see just by how I can switch from tangent to tangent and hit like 8 billion topics. I give Matrix on Hook some credit here for sticking on topic as well as he did. No chance of that here. So, yeah. So the witch hunt thing and then the terrorism thing is just silly. I mean, it's like it went back to Fox News when they did the thing with Kerry where he looks French, you know. And it brings up what was it, Godwin's Law, which was brought up by Ultraforge, who's a troll whose videos I've watched, and he talks about Godwin's Law and how, you know, if you say a lie enough times, people begin to believe it, and that's you know, the catchphrase thing, what they did with Kerry with the flip flop, and you know, just repeating the same thing over and over again. You know, in my heart, you want to think that we're more intelligent than that, but as things play out, it seems like we're not. I mean, hey, well, Bush got elected a second time, and you know, I'd like to think even as a Republican I wouldn't have voted for Bush a second time, but you know, not being a Republican, how can I say? And I say that with you know, somewhat removed from the Democratic Party because I don't embrace them either. Although with the choices that I get, I tend to side in their area. My beliefs are colored in a lot different way, and I think that there is a middle ground. The only thing with that, and once again I'm moving into other topics, but I'm going to continue with it, is that, all right, you have these, say, okay, you have a continuum and you have Republicans, right? Okay, their belief system, conservative, right? Then say you have more of a liberal Democrat. And then, of course, you can have liberal or conservative Republicans. But say you have a liberal Democrat. Now, it looks like you have the whole spectrum here. So you have conservative and liberal represented. When in actuality, what's happening is that, so this would be the center between the two, right? Wrong. Because conservative is over here. Democrat, I would venture, is probably over there too. So now you have this. So what you really have is the other side, you know, socialism, communism, any kind of, you know, lefty-leaning belief system, anarchy, you know, anything is not represented at all, right? So you have these two, Republican and Democrat, and here's the real center. So they're not. There is no center with these two parties. I mean, you're. It's like being on a seesaw, and the whole thing's just like this. You know, I would love to see somebody write it up. And the other thing is that, you know, just the idea of like conservatism. I mean, there is. I used to think I was an out and out liberal, and as I got a little smarter and realized that there was a lot of BS on the left side too, and I realized also that there's a lot of things in the conservative value that makes a lot of sense, and like smaller government. I mean, that's beautiful. If Republicans really stood to that and stood for it, you know, I would be a Republican. You know, sometimes I think that there's a part of me, maybe a big part of me, that is a strict, you know, fiscally conservative, somewhat socially liberal belief system. It's definitely a hybrid though, but you know, like there's this idea of, you know, like on the left, and now I'm really off on other topics, but I really want to follow this trail because, you know, I think about these things and I don't often voice them. Is that okay, so you have the like say like, okay, like, yeah, leftist, lefty, liberal, like, you know, give to the poor, feed the hungry, make sure everyone's provided for. And if you just give and you give, and then there's this kind of what they call in the Buddhist circles where I study in, what they call idiot compassion, where you then look over someone and you're looking down on them and you're like, okay, you're only helped because I'm above you, so I help you, so that I'm maintaining my superior position. And that's a form of liberalism that you see, where it's like, okay, give, you're in welfare, you need me, it's like a master-slave type thing. But in a more holistic fashion, if you give, teach, bring up, and then you get to this point where it's like, okay, not pull yourself up by your own bootstraps in that classic, conservative FU way, but like, okay, I'm going to help you to a point, but then you have to build yourself up, and then we're hopefully we can work to a point where we can see eye to eye, or at least see each other on a somewhat even keel. And that's why you need a mix. I am a centrist, if you want to know. And I have run so far off the topic that I'm going to cut this video, and I'm going to regroup. I'm going to watch number 2, and then I'm gonna get back in the fray, and I'm going to say. Good looking. And I want to say before I leave, though, comments. I want comments from people. I want thoughtful comments. I do appreciate the, hey, cool, great idea. I'm not completely downing those comments, but I like more. I have one viewer who is very supportive, who I like very much. And sometimes I wish he would stop by and say a little more. Especially considering our views are not total agreement. And I like the challenge. I love it. I live in there. And the other thing I would say is also, if you subscribe to me and you're just coming here, subscribe to Matrix Unhooked. Although he doesn't want the limelight, I think it would be good just in general. I mean, I think a little bit of activity in his blocked out world, can't hurt. We all like exposure. We need exposure. I said in one of my earlier videos where I had taken it from an Aesop Rock song, that concept that nobody wants to be overlooked, but nobody wants to be looked over. And I'll leave it at that.